I'll never forget as long as I live. My father was actually crying because he was scared to death that Muhammad Ali was going to get killed. Not knocked out, killed. That's how vicious and violent George Foreman was.
He was trying to win a boxing match. I was trying to kill that guy.
It was really strange. I thought I'd knock him out in 1 or 2 rounds, but about the 3rd round, I'd hit him and he fell on me. I thought, that's it. And he started screaming, "That all you got, George? Show me something." And I knew then I was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And you, George Foreman, all of you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him. All of you. I know you got him. I know you got him picked, but the man's in trouble. I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Muhammad Ali has won. Muhammad Ali has won by a knockout. The thing they said was impossible, he's done.
I told you, I'm the real champion. I told you, I'm the champion of the world.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
You can act like a man. What's the matter with you?
A real man, Brad, a real man is born to serve. Period. And we can't lose that. Masculinity to protect and to serve and to help. But if we spend all of our time isolated in our gym, we can get to the best we can get and we want it with a net zero.
Part of life is about getting hurt, about failing and getting back up and dealing with adversity and setbacks and realizing that what you thought was a short path is actually going to be the long path to success, and you're going to have to take that journey if you really want it.
Right now in life, your family's looking for that one guy right now. They're looking for that one guy who's strong, who's that pillar for the family in hard times. Make sure they look around and find you. These are the times right now for you to step up. Be that guy that can take anything.
Yeah, I'm working on something. I might not look good right now, but I'm working on something. I might not be impressive right now, but I'm working on something. I might not have any money right now, but I'm working on something. I may be a student in school living off of Roman noodles, but I'm working on something. I may have to study while you go to the basketball game, but I'm working on something. I may not get to do all the fun things that you get to do, but I'm working on something. I'm in the gym because I'm working on something. I'm on the field running because I'm working on something. I'm reading books at 2 o'clock in the morning because I'm working on something. I'm exercising because I'm working on something. Anytime you're working on something, you got to go through a period of suffering. And if you lose over here, you're going to win over there. Who am I talking to this morning?
99% of people in the world are convinced that they're incapable of achieving great things, so they aim for the mediocre. If you are insecure, guess what? The rest of the world is too. Do not overestimate the competition and underestimate yourself. You are better than you think.
He said, you know the difference between champions and everyone else? And I was like, what? And he said, everyone always looks at them and says, what do champions have that I don't have? They have it backwards. He said, it's what do champions not have that I have? It's what do they lack? And it's an off button. They just don't stop. I think that that level of obsession around like everything that you touch on a daily basis is required for really getting to where you want to go.
We're getting ready for the Olympics in Beijing. We're going to head to Beijing. And I wanted to establish myself as a young leader on the team by waking up bright and early, day one. So the goal was to be the first one at breakfast. So I set my alarm. I make sure I'm up by sunrise. I get out of bed. I put on my gear and I head downstairs. But when I get there, Kobe's already there with ice packs on his knees, drenched in sweat. Now, it took me a minute to figure it out, but this guy wasn't only awake before me. He had already worked out. He had just played in the finals days earlier. Meanwhile, I'd been off for months and I was still exhausted.
I always try to outwork people, right? That's just how I made my mark. So the game was at 7. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come to the Staples Center because we're playing. This is when the Lakers had Kobe and Shaq. Okay, this is like the championship Lakers. So, you know, I'm gonna get there at 3 o'clock. I wanna make sure I make 400 made shots. As I'm walking onto the court, who do I see? I see Kobe Bryant, already working out. So once I set my foot across that line, I started working out. So I worked out for a good hour and a half. And when I came off, after I was done, I sat down And of course, I still hear the ball bouncing. I look down, I'm like, this guy's still working out? He was working out for like, it looks like he was in a dead sweat when I got here. Right. And he's still going. And it's not like his moves are nonchalant or lazy. He's doing like game moves, you know? I sit there and I unlace my shoes. I'm like, I want to see how long this goes. So I sit out there and watch, 25 minutes. And he got done. I said, okay, I think I've seen enough. Go play, come back, get in the sauna, get ready for the game. That game, he drops 40 on us, okay? And after the game is over, I'm like, I have to ask this guy. Like, I have to understand, like, why he works like that. Right. So after the game is over, I'm like, hey, Kobe, like, why were you in the gym for so long? He's like, because I saw you come in. and I wanted you to know that it doesn't matter how hard you work, that I'm willing to work harder than you.
I come to understand, if I could work that hard every day, what would my career be? And I made a promise to myself, I was gonna work that hard every single day.
Monday, get better. Tuesday, get better. Wednesday, get better, right? And you do that over a period of time, not like 1 month or 2 months. I mean, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And then you can get to where you wanna go.
If you genuinely believe in yourself, you are 75% already there towards your goals. Like you will accomplish them. If you believe yourself, put in the work, it's done.
When you do the hard things, you will have a happy and easy life. But if you constantly choose to take the path of easy and negotiate and compromise, you will have a hard life that ends with regret.
One of the things I tell young men, you should be a monster. Because everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no, wrong. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
He said, we live in a society where mediocrity is often rewarded. And he went on to say something about these men detest mediocrity. I wanted to be a man that detests mediocrity. Out of the 100 men that go into war, 10 shouldn't even be there. 80 of them are just targets. 9 do most of the fighting. 1 is a warrior. And it's a true quote to life. I saw it going through training. I saw it everywhere I went. There's so many people who just show up to life that shouldn't even be around. And there's a few people who do all the work. I wanted to be part of that 9, and I'm working towards being that 1. And that's just how I live my life.
The difference between professionals and amateurs is that professionals have standards. All right, you have to have a standard to measure your actions against.
My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant. And when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job. And our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
We are in control of our momentum. If you are in a terrible place right now, if your life sucks right now, and you're waiting around for things to get better, that's not what you should be doing. That's not how it works. You need to take action. You need to control what you could control, which is your food, what you put in your mind, how you move your body, how much water you drink, who you associate with, the things that are in your control. You need to execute on those in a positive manner, and that's the key to avoiding these ups and downs.
You know what you've got to do, right? We all know what we've got to do. We say to ourselves, I should do it this way, or I should do this. And when you don't do that, you feel, like I always say, doubt is removed by action. So if you're not working, then that's where the doubt seeps in. So
every day that you don't do work, you're going backwards. And it definitely will hurt you, and it'll show up.
You can be the most talented, the smartest, the best educated person with the most valuable contacts and all the advantages in life, but if you are not focused, it doesn't do you any good at all.
You learn nothing from success, nothing. You learn everything from the failures, and this is the thing that annoys me about the state that the world is in at the moment, is no one talks about failure anymore. Whereas with success, everyone shouts about it, but there's nothing in success. Success happens from failing hundreds of times.
It's hard. It's frustrating. There's things that are going to happen. You're going to get punched in the face. You're going to get sick. You're gonna have breakups. You're gonna have people let you down. You're gonna have people steal from you. You're gonna have friends let you down. You're gonna make mistakes, and everybody's gonna see it and laugh at you. All of these things are gonna happen. You have to build yourself into someone who can continue to execute regardless of what's happening around you. And if you can do that, it doesn't matter what's happening around you. It doesn't matter if they're laughing. It doesn't matter if they're making fun. It doesn't matter if the weather's bad. It doesn't matter if the economy's bad. It doesn't matter if your parents don't approve, or your wife or your girlfriend or your husband. It doesn't matter if you keep executing, because eventually you will find yourself in the place you set out to be.
You have to be crazy enough to think that it's possible. That's how you can do something worthwhile. That's how you beat the fucking odds. You have to believe it's possible, okay? And when you believe something is possible, everything else will figure itself out.
You remember when we used to think that nobody could beat Tyson?
He said, I promised my mama before she died I was gonna beat her. Just a couple nights before the fight, Buster Douglas' mom died.
And he decided he was gonna Mike Tyson up for his mother.
And there's a right hand uppercut and down goes Douglas. Nobody in the history of boxing, when Mike knocked you out, nobody gets up.
Counts up to 2 and 3, and here it is at 9. Is he gonna get up? Yes, he does.
Somewhere around the 10th round, my man Buster Douglas does what no fighter has ever done in the history of Mike Tyson fight. He knocks Mike Tyson out.
Nice uppercut by Buster Douglas. Look at this. He's knocked Mike Tyson down for the first time in his career. Mike Tyson hits the canvas. He's in big trouble. He may not be able to recover. It's up to 7 and 8. He's not gonna make it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
When you want it now, it drives you crazy to be patient. And I know that's super frustrating. However, that is the rules of the game. It still takes time.
I walked in the recruiter's office and he looked at me and he said, "You're fat and you're black. Got someone to be a Navy SEAL." He laughed at me. 7 other recruiters laughed at me. He said I basically had to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months. Roger that. I got my chocolate milkshake and walked out. Sat there and I had time to reflect back on my life. I knew that no one was coming back to help me. I had to invent a guy that didn't exist. I wanted to be the guy that people looked at and said, this motherfucker is gonna keep coming after whatever the is in front of him. I wanted that. I wanted that. I wanted that worse than anything in the world. I kept picturing me falling down and getting up. I wanted to feel something besides defeat. I wanted to just go the distance. Several months go by, and now I'm like, okay, it's time to be a Navy SEAL. I get my shoes on, and I run a quarter mile. Come home crying. But I started realizing I can't run that far. I failed. I started realizing this is part of the process. This is part of the journey. If I'm not good enough, I'm gonna fucking make myself good enough. And that became my mentality. I developed a psychotic weight routine. I was doing volume, like 200-300 reps. I put everything on David Goggins to be a Navy SEAL. It's like going to the crap table with your last $1,000. And you say, you know what? I'm gonna put everything on black. And hopefully I'll win. If not, I'm broke. I came back 3 months later, 106 pounds lighter. Thank you.
And every single one of you out there have the superpowers necessary for greatness. But until you're backed into a corner like an injured, hungry, thirsty dog, you don't really realize how much you have in you.
Don't give up. Do not give up. Sometimes things always look darkest just before the dawn.
Mm-hmm. The most important conversation you will ever have in your fucking life is the one you have with yourself. Self-talk and visualization are the 2 keys to my success. I believed for that last 19 miles, I was indestructible. I said to myself, who on this fucking earth would still be going right now? You are.
If your life was a movie and it started now, what would the hero of your life's movie do right now? Do that. Write down things you won't tolerate from yourself. Write down things you've done in the past you never want to see yourself do again. And go forth from here as the hero of your own movie. Build momentum. Build confidence and momentum with each good decision that you make from here on out.
People doubted me. I doubted myself sometimes too. But you know what? I watched Arnold fall down. Nobody remembers when he fell down. He became governor. He kept getting up. I saw a lot of these guys I admired in business do it. That's what it takes. To do anything successfully in life, you've got to want it as bad as you want to breathe.
People who don't have a sense of purpose, a mission, and don't have a consistent routine end up digging holes in their life. Ultimately, you look back and you realize there's such a chasm between you and your spouse that you and your kids barely know each other, even though you live under the same roof. And you're like, whoa, where'd this come from? It was the absence of purpose and it was absence of routine.
The most helpful frame was thinking about who I was becoming as the asset that I was building. So in real time, whenever I finished a long day's work, I was becoming more like the type of person who could work for 5 years without reward. And that would be part of the story I would someday tell. And so some of the biggest reinforcers I've had in my life has been future casting the story that I would tell about the shitty period that I was in. Like I remember when I was sleeping on the floor at my gym because I didn't have enough money for 2 rents. And I was like, I will fucking tell this story. No one ever tells stories about the hero who made it all happen immediately and had no hardships. No one cares, right? Like, okay, you were born to a billionaire. Is there a story there? Not really. But everyone loves the story because we can see ourselves in the character and how much we hope to be like them. And it's the being like them, not the having what they have, that we usually like. And so reframing ourselves as the hero of that narrative in my harder times was what really got me through that, and thinking, I will tell this story someday.
The emotionally immature man seeks out motivation to do something hard one time. The emotionally mature man uses discipline to do something hard 1,000 times.
You have to stay the course no matter what. And it takes a high level of emotional maturity because your emotions dictate your motion, like what you're gonna do.
Turn your feelings off when it comes down to you wanting to be better. What that means is when that alarm clock goes off, your feelings gotta go away. It's raining outside, it's cold outside, when you don't wanna put those long hours in at work, that's what I'm talking about. Your feelings must go away.
This is my life, man. Do you know how hard I worked to get here?
You just gotta grind.
Yeah.
I feel like this next generation that's coming up, and I don't mean to smash all of them, but they seem like a bunch of pussies to me, you know? So because of that, there's never been more opportunity than there is right now. If you're a fucking savage and you get out there and you grind hard and you want it bad enough, you can run all these guys over, man.
You can have what you want in 5 years, but there's 2 conditions. You have to know what it is, and you have to aim at it. Figure out what you want, write it down, figure out what you could do to start moving towards that, okay? Do that with your family relationships. Do that with your friendships. Do that with your career. Do that with your education. Think about your misuse of alcohol and drugs and other things that might drag you down. You have to discipline yourself. That's why I often tell my clients, especially young people, they say, well, I don't know what to do. It's like, that's okay. Nobody does. Go do something. Do the best thing that you can think of. Put the best plan you have into practice. It's not going to be perfect, and it will change along the way, but it will change partly because you become disciplined pursuing the path. And as you become disciplined, you become wiser. And as you become wiser, you become able to formulate better and better plans.
If you want to be great, you got to do the work. If you want to get paid, you got to be a high performer. These are real things. And now we have a generation of children that believe that showing up to the job to get paid is some sort of exceptional fucking work. That is not exceptional work. Exceptional work is that you're such a fucking asset to the team that your presence legitimately moves the motherfucking needle for everybody on the fucking team. That's doing an exceptional job.
You probably have people in your life who endorse and support you being a loser. I don't want friends in my life. I want allies in my life.
Oh, you got to set realistic goals and take small little actions. If you want to be excellent and you want to build something huge, you better set some big goals and follow it up with some big action.
Everyone's like, oh, later in life, I want to do this. Later in life, I want to do that. Later in life is turning around, looking in the mirror right now. That's the later in life. And unless that turnaround is something in progression, later in life ain't gonna be anything different.
You better go out there and do it yourself. You know, don't fucking wait around and wait for someone to hand deliver something. Go make it happen. You know, the fish don't just jump in the boat. If you want to go catch them, go catch them. You know, throw that line in the water and go do some work. And if it doesn't work that day, do it again the next day.
Life will give you exactly what you tolerate. And if you've been tolerating mediocrity, you've been tolerating average, you've been tolerating this victim mentality that you're carrying, then guess what? You have exactly what you deserve.
There's people out there that are just working harder than everybody else, and they're gonna keep doing it. And that's their grind, because they change everybody's perspective of like what's possible, what to strive for, and what it takes.
If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do 100%.
Yeah.
No in the middle, no 90%, no, I'm 100%. I always try to do my best and try to do my everything. And I think because I love what I do.
It is so easy to beat people today. They are so soft. They have no work ethic. No one can stick with anything. Everyone's distracted. They're on social media. They're counting their fucking notifications because they can't stick with shit. They can't say no.
The world belongs to optimists because if you're going to do anything big, you have to believe that it can happen. Otherwise, it never will.
My coach used to always say, everything that you want is on the other side of hard.
Because as long as you have breath in your lungs, as long as your heart is beating, as long as you have consciousness in your mind, you can go and rewrite the story of how your life ends and how your life continues from this day forward, the legacy that you live.
But we have to start taking responsibility for ourselves.
Nothing's ever going to be given to you. Everything's going to be earned. If you don't go out there and put in the work, you don't go out and put in the effort, one, you're not going to get the results.
If you do not have clear, specific goals for your life, you are doomed forever to work for people who do.
That means the harder it is, the more epic the story. By consequence, the more epic the hero.
I truly believe that if you work hard enough at something, I don't care what it is, that you can really become an expert.
Do you really want to be a champion? Why? Because you just want to be cool? You want to be the coolest guy on the block? Like you're not going to win. You're going to find some fucking psychopath who just lives it.
Whenever you try to do something out of the ordinary, people will line up to tell you that you can't do it, why you can't do it, that you'll lose your time, you'll lose your money, that you will, in effect, die in the desert. Even people who should know better will try to discourage you. To achieve anything greater worthwhile, you must train yourself to rise above these people, ignoring them and pressing on towards your goal regardless.
A lot of people wait for perfect conditions to start, but don't realize that starting is the perfect condition.
Almost all of the people around you who have parts of their life that they're not happy about are kind of making a choice for it to be that way. That means that all of the things I don't like about me and I don't like about my life are my responsibility because I can change it.
The other thing that's so interesting about being alive is that you're all in. No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting.
Workout's done, you paid your fucking dues. You're that much closer to becoming that person you always knew you could be. I mean, isn't it about time you do that? Isn't it about time you become that person you knew you always could be? How do you do that? You break the fucking mold, guys. You get the fuck out of bed when it's cold, when it's early. You do something away from the normality of what you've been doing. That's psychotic behavior. Doing the same thing, expecting a different result doesn't work that way. You must switch up the mainframe.
I've always figured that why go to a tournament if you're not going there to try and win? There's really no point in even going. That's the attitude I've had my entire life, and that's the attitude I will always have. As I would explain to my dad, second sucks, the third's even worse. That's just a feeling.
But on tour, that's not too bad sometimes, though.
That's not too bad, but I want to win. That's just my nature.
We make choices every day. If you decide to be rich today, who gonna stop you? Who? If you decide you want to be rich, All you gotta do is start.
Nietzsche said, "I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and impossible." The fact that something seems impossible shouldn't be a reason to not pursue it. That's exactly what makes it worth pursuing. Where would the courage and greatness be if success was certain and there was no risk? The only true failure is shrinking away from life's challenges.
Marcus Aurelius says your only focus should be on getting better at what you're doing. Focus on what you're doing, get better at what you're doing. Everything else is a complete waste of time.
You want to be the one that says, "F*** it, I'm going to do it anyway. I know I don't feel good today, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to prove to myself that even on days that it doesn't feel right, I push myself." The only way to gain confidence in yourself is to build something.
If you want something, go get it.
You really can solve a lot of male problems by getting in shape and making money. You still have problems, they're just smaller and you have more resources to handle them. The world is there for the taking for anyone who can learn from their mistakes, do what they say they were going to do, and stick with it, even if it's not sexy. What used to make a man acceptable now makes you extraordinary. The bar for winning has never been so low.
All I have to do is figure out what I need to do, and figuring it out becomes the option. And so then I have clarity on the one thing that I need to do to pull myself out of this moment of sadness.
I feel to be at the pinnacle of any game. In whatever you do, you've got to be a little bit gone to it. You're not all there. You've got to be almost insane to your craft. Not a lot of people can understand that. That's why I don't know about nothing else.
Work day and night.
Really?
Do as many things, learn as much as you can, fail as often as possible.
What about work-life balance in your 20s?
Fuck it. Because that's the time to put in the hard work. Your work-life balance actually comes out later.
If you can barely decide to take any action at all and peel your eyes away from your phone for just a moment, it's so much easier to beat everyone else because most people are overweight, they're distracted, they're poor, they have so few skills.
It's never too late. If you're alive, you can get better. If you're alive right now, you can improve your condition. You can improve your situation, and it starts with improving the way you think. That's the most important thing. The way you think of things, you've got to change that.
If people are succeeding, even slightly, in a job that they hate, think about how good you could be if it was something that you really, really cared about.
Right.
Think about how amazing you could be if you pursued something that you genuinely had existential simpatico with.
Right.
As opposed to something that you detest.
If you have to ask how to get motivated to go to the gym, you don't need to be going to the gym. You don't want it enough.
Maybe you're a piece of shit. Maybe you want to be nobody. Maybe you're happy exactly where you are in life, because obviously you are. Maybe you don't have the determination to be somebody better than who you are.
People that have no problem showing up to the gym are the people that want to be there.
You have to want it. You have to want to be better.
If you're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start.
I've lost my mind on this game, yeah? Like Vincent van Gogh. Dedicated his life to his art and lost his mind in the process. That's happened to me. But when that gold belt was around my waist, when my mother has a big mansion, my girlfriend has a different car for every day of the week, and my kids have everything they ever want, then it will pay. Then I'm happy I lost my mind.
That pain you feel, that's the pain of success. You must be willing to shoulder that pain to get to success. Success is something that's a very lonely path in this world, because few are willing to make that down payment of pain for that futurement of success, the better life. Very few are. Because we don't want to be normal. Normality is what weak people call living. I call it death.
Make up your own mission statement. What do you want to be in life? And once you do that, now you can work with somebody to get better. You can work with yourself to get better. But until you know what you want to stand for, you will always just be sitting down. You'll never stand for anything.
I'm not talented. It was life and death. Either you live or you die. Which one do you want, Tom? That was the decision.
If you want to be really great at something, you kind of have to be out of your fucking mind, but you also have to have an iron will.
You can make a million excuses why you didn't get that raise, why you didn't take that leap of faith. You can make a million excuses, but you know deep down inside, and consciousness is eating away at you, that it's an excuse. It's not a reason, it's an excuse. Stop making excuses. And when you stop making excuses, the only alternative is then results.
Just doing it makes you do more. Like, do more hard shit makes you do more hard shit.
Yeah.
Understand that you want it bad, so you're willing to put in the work and do things you don't want to do. It's what makes you have the confidence that you know how to push through, and the mentality that I'm the type of dude to get done.
If you want something, go get it.
Everything is determined by what you do and you trying to be your best so that you can build on positive performance. We need to not accept anything but our best in terms of what we're doing in preparation.
Not be satisfied with just playing the game. You have to taste the win, want to win, and above all else, have the will to win.
I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
I'm a go-getter. I'm a winner, and I'm going to always find a way to come out on top, no matter what position you put me in.
Obsession's going to be talent every time. You got all the talent in the world, but are you obsessed?
A lot of us have big dreams, big goals. And when you have goals that are maybe outside your reach, you have to know that getting to that goal, you're gonna have a lot of bad days.
You need to take action, the things that are in your control. You need to execute on those in a positive manner, and that's the key to avoiding these ups and downs.
You're not only winning when things are going your way. You got to figure out how to win when things aren't going your way.
The world doesn't care what you did, it only cares what you're doing now.
You cannot erase the work ethic part. There is no getting around. Ain't no elevator to the top. You got to take the stands.
We don't get what we always want. And to get what we always want, we have to be so much better that it's unquestionable.
You're going to go through this pain. You're going to go through the suffering. How are you going to choose to show up?
The bad days create the story that I'm one day going to tell myself about what I got through. Without the bad days, there would be no glory in overcoming anything, because what did you overcome?
Bro, you gotta fucking stop. You gotta stop with all this I can't catch a break bullshit. All the time you're complaining, you could be instead hustling. You could be instead chasing your dream. You could be instead figuring out what you're doing wrong, trying to improve certain aspects of your life, getting your shit together, reading a book, meditating, something. And that's how you do it. You go and get after it. You don't make any excuses.
Effort, dedication, work hard, because the talent is not enough anymore. And if you don't dedicate it 100%, you're not gonna reach the level that you want.
The hardest things are usually the best. If it's easy, leave it to somebody else.
Is there any better feeling than being locked in?
No.
The confidence comes from preparation. When I'm prepared, I know what I'm capable of doing, I know what I'm comfortable doing, and I know what I'm not comfortable doing. You know, right? And so in those moments, if it looks like I'm ice cold or not nervous, it's because I've done it thousands of times before. So it's one more time.
Success in fighting in life is about desire and the will. How bad do you want it? Is it worth dying for? That's the true greatness, is the willingness to die. So is this thing worth greatness?
You gotta go out there and fail. You gotta go out there and fall down. Most people who have won big have failed big. I want that. I want you to fail, and I want you to get up and do it again. The same thing in life is the same thing here. If you can do this, you can do anything. Anything.
The most important question that you have to ask yourself in life is, how badly do you want what you want? How badly do you want it? Or do you want it at all? You see, there's an awful lot of people who want an awful lot of things. But how badly do they want it? If you want it so badly, if you want it with tremendous intensity of desire, there's really nothing in the world that can stop you from getting it.
Champions find a way to make it happen. No matter how long it takes, they find a way.